when somebody's met me and then they want to what was I going to say? I meet somebody and I'm not trying for anything, right? I'm attracted to them, but I'm just being myself without trying to like date them. Those are the times when the person develops really strong feelings for me. And unfortunately, most of the time I don't reciprocate. But when like friends, let's say, we're friends and organically we developed feelings. That happened to me recently with someone. Because we weren't trying to impress each other. We weren't dating. We weren't trying to get to a place with our connection. We were just letting the connection exist, and we were existing and connecting within the present moment, you know? But the times when I actually am like, okay, this is a date and I'm going with someone on a date, that like changes the dynamic. And no longer are you just vibing in the present. You're having expectations about where it's going to go. But I read this great book called Getting Off the Relationship Escalator. And I loved it. It was a short read, quick read, but it's great. It's all about not putting the expectations and the attachment on somebody you're dating, just learning how to go, hey, this is a great connection. I'm going to enjoy it right now for however long it lasts. And that's just it. And like, just enjoy it and stay present. That's what the main point of the book was. Stop trying to get to marriage and boyfriends and all this shit.
I met this chick over the summer at the bar at the beach, and she told me she just got divorced from her wife. And I was like, so like, how did you know you wanted to get a divorce? She's like, I would wake up in the morning, roll over and look at my wife. And I was just so disgusted. I was like, damn. I was like, why the fuck did you get married? Like, if you couldn't tell that, you couldn't feel that before you got married. I was like, so you just weren't attracted to her anymore? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, do you want to come to my place? And she's like, yeah. I was like, wow, okay, this is a miracle.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Rachel. That sounds like a really good book. You said it's called The Relationship Escalator?
It's called How to Get Off the Relationship Escalator.
Yeah, look into that. I agree with you in that aspect. It's like the times when you try, I don't know, there's like the times when you're not expecting it is the time when things naturally occur and you get the best connections.
Yeah, definitely. I did find Adrian or John or I'm gonna call what should I call you? I'm gonna call you the chameleon. I'm just kidding. I found the part in Big Magic about how ideas work, but it's several pages, so I don't know if you want me to read it, but like I would really love.
Yeah, just go ahead, read the first page. Read the first page and then take a break.
Okay. It's really cool. So let's see. This is how ideas work. Under the section called enchantment. Okay. Bear with me because the first page you might not get. Okay, I'll just read the first page, but it gets better as the pages go on when she explains more. Okay, let's go. I should explain. Hold on. Can you hear me okay? Because my headset died.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. I should explain at this point that I've spent my entire life in devotion to creativity. And along the way, I've developed a set of beliefs about how it works and how to work with it that is entirely and unapologetically based upon magical thinking. And when I refer to magic here, I mean it literally, like in the Hogwarts sense. I am referring to the supernatural, the mystical, the inexplicable, the surreal, the divine, the transcendent, the otherworldly. Because the truth is, I believe that creativity is a force of enchantment, not entirely human in its origins. I am aware this is not an especially modern or rational way of seeing things. It is decidedly unscientific. Just the other day, I heard a respected neurologist say in an interview, the creative
Bro's
process
face!
of being magical
Yo face,
is
bro!
magic. With all due respect, I disagree. I believe the creative process is both magical and magic. But here's what I choose to believe about how creativity functions. I believe that our planet is inhabited not only by animals and plants and bacteria and viruses, but also by ideas. Ideas are a disembodied, energetic life form. They are completely separate from us, but capable of interacting with us, albeit strangely. Ideas have no material body, but they do have consciousness, and they most certainly have will. Ideas are driven by a single impulse, to be made manifest. And the only way an idea can be made manifest in our world is through collaboration with a human partner. It is only through a human's efforts that an idea can be escorted out of the ether and into the realm of the actual. Okay, so that's the first part. Any thoughts, comments?
No, it's good. Just keep going.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she has to go down through several pages. Therefore, ideas spend eternity swirling around us, searching for available and willing human partners. I'm talking about all ideas here. Artistic, scientific, industrial, commercial, ethical, religious, political. When an idea thinks it has found somebody, say you, who might be able to bring it into the world, the idea will pay you a visit. It will try to get your attention. Mostly you will not notice. This is likely because you're so consumed by your own dramas, anxieties, distractions, insecurities, and duties that you aren't receptive to inspiration. You might miss the signal because you're watching TV, or shopping, or brooding over how angry you are at somebody, or pondering your feelings and mistakes. Yes, babe, or just generally really busy. It's not gonna work, babe. I tried different batteries. It's just, you gotta get a new one, okay? Alright. The idea will try to wave. You see, it's not gonna work. My poor kid. It's not gonna work, I'm telling you. The idea will try to wave you down, perhaps for a few moments, perhaps for a few months, perhaps even for a few years. But when it finally realizes that you're oblivious to its message, it will move on to someone else. But sometimes, rarely but magnificently, there comes a day when you're open and relaxed enough to actually receive something. Your defenses might slacken, and your anxieties might ease, and then magic can slip through. Izzy, please stop that right there over there in the other room, because I'm trying to read something, huh? Okay. Oh. Let's see where was I? Oh, magic can slip through, yeah. The idea, sensing your openness, will start to do its work on you. It will send the universal physical and emotional signal of inspiration. The chills up the arms, the hair standing up on the back of the neck, the nervous stomach, the buzzy thoughts, that feeling of falling into love or obsession. Commentary. I get those chills a lot when I've landed upon a really good idea. So I like that. The idea will organize coincidences and portents to tumble across your path to keep your interest keen. You will start to notice all sorts of signs pointing you toward the idea. Everything you see and touch and do will remind you of the idea. The idea will wake you up in the middle of the night and distract you from your everyday routine. It will not leave you alone until it has your fullest attention. And then, in a quiet moment, it will ask, "Do you want to work with me?" At this point, you have two options for how to respond. Okay, I don't know. I could keep going because she has a section that says, "What happens when you say no?" And then she has, "What happens when you say yes?" And then she has, anyway. Oops.
I love it so far. I wanted to hear the what happens if you say no portion.
Okay, cool. And I do love how it's like, we are so distracted. And we have to quiet our minds to be able to co-create with these ideas. I really love that. Yeah. Okay, this part is what happens when you say no. The simplest answer, of course, is to just say no. Then you're off the hook. The idea will eventually go away. Congratulations, you don't need to bother creating anything. To be clear, this is not always a dishonorable choice. True, you might sometimes decline inspiration's invitation out of laziness, angst, insecurity, or petulance. But other times you might need to say no to an idea because it is truly not the right moment, or because you're already engaged in a different project, or because you're certain that this particular idea has accidentally knocked on the wrong door. I have many times been approached by ideas that are no or not right for me, and I've politely said to them, I'm honored by your visitation, but I am not your girl. May I respectfully suggest that you call upon, say, Barbara Kingslover. I always try to use my most gracious manners when sending an idea away. You don't want word getting around the universe that you're difficult to work with. That's funny. Yes, Izzy?
You didn't clean the table.
I know. I'm reading this. I'll read it in a minute.
Let's keep reading a book.
She's like, why do you have to keep reading a boring book? It's not boring to me, hon. Sorry. Yes, it's fine. Whatever your response, though, do be sympathetic to the poor idea. Remember, all it wants is to be realized. It's trying its best. It seriously has to knock on every door it can, so you might have to say no. When you say no, nothing happens at all. Mostly, people say no. Most of their lives, most people just walk around day after day, say no, 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 no. Then again, someday you might just say yes. Okay, so there's that. So I could pause for comments or go on to what happens when you say yes.
Okay, go on to what happens when you say yes. And Fabian, do you want to say anything, Fabian?
No, I'm just chilling right now listening, man. Thank you. I'll chime in a little later. Thank you.
Okay, sweet. What happens when you say yes? If you do say yes to an idea, now it's showtime. Now your job becomes both simple and difficult. You have officially entered into a contract with inspiration, and you must try to see it through all the way to its impossible to predict outcome. You may set the terms for this contract however you like. In contemporary Western civilization, the most common creative contract still seems to be one of suffering. I know, so true. This is the contract that says, I shall destroy myself and everyone around me in an effort to bring forth my inspiration, and my martyrdom shall be the badge of my creative legitimacy. If you choose to enter into a contract of creative suffering, you should try to identify yourself as much as possible with the stereotype of the tormented artist. You will find no shortage of role models. To honor their example, follow these fundamental rules. Drink as much as you possibly can. Sabotage all your relationships. Wrestle so vehemently against yourself that you come up bloodied every time. Express constant dissatisfaction with your work. Jealously compete against your peers. Begrudge anybody else's victory. Proclaim yourself cursed by your talents. Attach your self-sense worth to external rewards. Be arrogant when you are successful, and self-pitying when you fail. Honor darkness above light. Die young. Blame creativity for having killed you. Does it work, this method? Yeah, sure. It works great till it kills you. So you can do it this way if you really want to. By all means, do not let me or anyone else ever take away your suffering if you're committed to it. But I'm not sure this route is especially productive, or that it will bring you or your loved ones enduring satisfaction and peace. I will concede that this method of creative living can be extremely glamorous, and it can make for an excellent biopic after you die. So if you prefer a short life of tragic glamour to a long life of rich satisfaction, knock yourself out. However, I always had the sense that the muse of the tormented artist, while the artist himself is throwing temper tantrums, is sitting quietly in a corner of the studio, buffing its fingernails, patiently waiting for the guy to calm down and sober up so everyone can get back to work. Because in the end, it's all about the work, isn't it? Or shouldn't it be? And maybe there's a different way to approach it. May I suggest one? Okay, so and then the next part is in a different way. So her suggestion. But I absolutely love that because I was I was very much the tortured artist that thought I can only create great poems in the depths of my misery. And it's like, with this book I just published last year, I was able to write poems about love and happiness and joy. Like, it wasn't all just suffering, you know? Okay, should I read a different way now? Okay.
We are our own worst critic when it comes to ideas. Getting started.
Yeah, exactly. And then how many artists do you know? Like, I'm like, oh, I respect this artist. Oh, he like committed suicide. Oh, this guy was a drunk. Oh, this guy cut his own ear off. Or it's like, wow, it's like really glamorized, right? Like she said, in Western civilization, this idea of suffering for your art. But yeah. There is more I could read. I mean, she talks about a different way, which I could summarize about going about it without being a tortured artist. Then she talks about an idea grows, and then an idea gets sidetracked. So she talks about, so basically her different way is about nourishing like healthy habits in which to practice your creativity. So that you're like, anyway, I could just read it if you want, or I could summarize it. But I do like one section where she talks about an idea gets sidetracked. So she talks about times when an idea comes to her and she repeatedly tells it to go away. And it just keeps coming back. And so she just